Greetings, beloved souls. So, today I have another beautiful message for you. The message for today is the power of your name. You hear that? The power of your name. Your name was written, it was written when you entered this world. But there's a deeper layer to the name that you carry. There is a name anchored within your soul. Now, the name that you carry that was signed on the birth certificate when you entered this world, it is your roadmap. It is your roadmap to who you are. Every part of it. If you have two names, if you have three names, if you have more, every part of your name is a roadmap to who you are. It's the path that leads the way. Your birth sign is yet another hint to who you are and what you carry. Now, many have seen my name, and yes, it is that deeper layer that I'm speaking of. And over the course of your journey, you are given your name. When you walk the path of remembrance, because this journey that you're on, you are walking the path back to self. You see, right now, you think everything that I know now, everything that I've accumulated, the titles and things that I have, these make up who I am, yet they do not. They do not. Titles, mm-mm, mm-mm. We don't do titles when you reach the path of self. There's no need. There's no need. We know that there are titles, and the titles bring quote unquote recognition in this earthly realm. But no label put on you is who you are. You have to dig deep, you have to walk the path, you have to journey back to self. And as you're journeying, as you're on that path, you get those signs, you get those synchronicities, and those signs are leading you to the next step, to the next step. You're getting a location. You're getting an information. Information is coming on a teacher. A teacher may drop in for you. They say the teacher is presented when the student is ready. And so a teacher may drop in and you're continuing on your path. Another teacher may drop in and you're continuing on your path. Another teacher may drop in. But everything starts with you. It starts with you. It starts with you saying, okay, I've been walking in circles for a while. Okay, I've been visiting this thing again and again and again. Okay, I'm not happy. Why am I not happy? I have all these things, yet why am I still not happy? And when these questions began to come about, you are being called to dig deeper. Dig deeper. You have this powerful name that you carry that's leading the way. You have yet another powerful name within. You have to connect with him or her. You have to connect. You have to shed the layers of what you've been carrying, the baggage that you've been carrying, that you've accumulated up until this point. Some of you are in your 20s. That's 20 years of baggage, 30s, 30 years of baggage, 40s, 40 years of baggage, and more. So what's the baggage? The traumas. Have you dealt with some things? Childhood, adulthood, that you've shoved into a closet? Have you sat with that? You may not have a full understanding of why those things happen, but have you sat with that? Have you forgiven the one or ones who were the vessel at the time for that very thing that may have occurred? Each one at their core operates in the fashion of God. And everyone is at different stages, but when you say, this is my God, this is my God, and what it embodies, you feel forgiveness always. You feel that everlasting love. That is who each one of us is at the core. So you got to shed all those things, and you have to recognize that the being that was the vessel for that very thing that may have occurred, at their core, that is not who they are. You got to forgive. You got to release and start releasing all those things you carry. Now, those names that you've been called, there's some names that you may have been called even while you've been on your journey. Nicknames is not what I'm referring to, but the names that you've been called. We we learn in school that it's bullying, right? It happens in school, it happens in the workplace, it happens in other environments. Now, sometimes those names that you have been called, here in society, you know, society and the systems have a certain way that they'd like you to be. So you're continuously molded in that design. But those names that you have been called that may have not fit that design are also indications of who you are. So just because someone has called you something and you didn't particularly like it at the time, it's who you are. Never be ashamed of who you are. And a lot of times, those are projections upon you. Everyone at their core is love, is God. Everyone. So forgive those who may have not known what they were doing, truly knew, because they were not being themselves. And we shed those layers and we walk, we connect with self, we pour more love into self. Into self. You cannot give from an empty cup. And so you keep walking, you keep shedding, you keep shedding, you keep connecting with you, with divine source, with your guides around you. You keep connecting and you keep shedding and returning back to who you are deep down inside. And when you make the journey and you finally get there, your name will be waiting for you. Some of you have walked this path, have received your name, but maybe it's not yet time for you to wear it. You wear your name when you fully embody it. We don't wear our name out of ego. You embody it. And when you embody it, it's who you are at every inch of your being. It's who and what you emanate out to others. And we've thought that the universal language was English, right? As I'm speaking to you in English. Well, there is a universal language that we all know, that we all are being called to remember. And hear that universal language. That means that this language is not just connected to you, it's not just connected to the land and the realm that you are on. This language is connected everywhere. Your name that you receive when you walk the journey and divine path back to self, your God self, your name carries that language. And we are all being called to remember who we are, where we come from, because you were born here. But there is so much more to you that you are yet still discovering. So, yes, you hear and we said Earth is a playground. You're experiencing, you're learning, you're enjoying, and you're creating all these things. In the midst of you learning, learning did not just stop when you finish high school or when you finished college or when you finished graduate school. Whatever the path you are on and how far in the educational system it has led you, your learning never stops. Continue to learn, continue to gain wisdom wherever you go. When you travel, you are meeting new people. You are meeting others that are on their journeys that carry wisdom within them. You gain more. You gain more. Continue to learn. Never stop educating yourself. Learning and seeking divine knowledge and wisdom is your guidance and your tool on your path home. This is your tool. This channel, this technology is your tool. Walk the path home. Walk the path home. Walk the path home. Back to you, back to yourself, back to who you are deep within. And on your journey, on your walk, as you began to dig deep, as you began to connect with him or her, you began sharing that. You began sharing that. The beautiful creation of social media and these platforms is for you to share yourself, your experience, and your journey. Pardon me. It's for you to share. And, the YouTube that many like to watch, like to even speak on, hear that name. You hear nature speaking? Listen to that name, YouTube. When you speak, it's coming from you. The things you watch, is coming from the beings that you're tuning into. You too is from your being, and you are meant to share the very things that are from your being with everyone. This is how we learn, this is how we grow, and this is how, as a collective, we get back to ourselves, we get back to divine source. Everybody's on their path, and everyone is at different levels and different walks. But the main goal is for you to get back to divine source, where your God self lives. And they're just waiting for you to say yes and return. I love you. Have a wonderful day.